Yale's Toy Barn Conspiracy by Infinity Bolt. Part 0, Introduction. Look at this man. The man who looks like a chicken and collects decades-old cowboy merchandise to be sold to some Japanese museum has more than meets the eye. This is an undeniable fact because it justifies the multiple hours I spent theorizing about this. So let's begin. Part 1.1, Dissecting the Commercial. We are introduced to Al in Toy Story 2 with his commercial for Al's Toy Barn. He displays the ability to lay eggs containing incredible discounts, allowing for all toys to be worth only, and I quote, a buck. After tormenting Andy's toys by reminding them that they are mere chattel to be bought and sold like slaves, Ham turns off the TV before proclaiming he despises that chicken. I do question how Al's Toy Barn is turning a profit when everything is worth only $1, but I guess hyperinflation wasn't a thing in 1999. Part 1.2, Andy's House in the Yard Burglary. We next see Al examining a collection of toys at the yard sale when he hears Woody's voice box go off. He expresses excitement after determining Woody is to be in as close to mint condition he has seen and will ever get. He gathers a bunch of junk in an attempt to sneak Woody out, suspecting that Andy's mom would know of Woody's monetary value. After being found out and being unable to negotiate the purchase of Woody, Al compensates for his lack of business skill with his diversion and lockpicking skills in order to steal Woody. As Al escapes, we see that his car's license plate has his own store's name encoded, which can be broken with some spelling toy. Also, a bunch of feathers, presumably from his chicken costume, fly out of the back of his car. His original purpose for attending the yard sale isn't clear. Does he simply go everywhere involving old junk being sold in hopes of finding Woody? Seems rather desperate. Part 1.3, Al's apartment. Al lives in a single-room apartment on the 23rd floor of an apartment complex right across the street from Al's Toy Barn. The only real features are Al's couch, Al's TV, and all the Woody's Roundup merchandise and episodes. Don't think that's important. Al seems to spend most of his day in the apartment, usually, given how Jesse, Bullseye, and Prospector were all unable to leave storage out of fear of being spotted. Or maybe Prospector just didn't want to get anyone damaged for the museum and kept them all there. This is a theory about Al and not the sentient toys that are the namesake of this multi-billion-dollar animated film franchise. Let's just say the latter, to make it simple. Part 1.4, what happens in Part 1.4, what happened in Al's apartment. We see Al wearing the chicken costume as he is being summoned by corporate for another commercial. He seems annoyed by this, yet he proceeds to talk to Woody in character as the chicken, referring to how many bucks Woody will make him. He then leaves, driving to Al's Toy Barn for a whole day of work. While breaking several driving regulations, it is revealed Al intends to sell all the Woody's Roundup toys and merchandise to the Konishi Toy Museum in Tokyo, Japan for some America boost to gawk at. He then arrives back to the apartment to take pictures of the Roundup gang, and then is horrified to discover Woody's arm has been severed. He immediately calls Jerry. No, not that Jerry. To fix it, because he knows he lacks the business stats to scam a Japanese person. After Woody is fixed, he then has the Roundup gang packaged in custom-fitted styrofoam. Clearly, however much the museum is paying him is in the millions. Certainly more than whatever job he has at Al's Toy Barn company, and he puts genuine care into the condition of the toys. But this is contradicted by him having no problem with touching Woody with Cheeto fingers. What's really curious is when he awakens from his Cheeto sleep with the Woody's Roundup theme song in the scene I'm gonna play here.
What? No, officer, I swear.
Interpret that as you will. Part 1.5, Al's Toy Barn. When the toys get to Al's Toy Barn and see that Al has vandalized nearby buildings with a barnyard background, the store at this time is closed, with only employees who would rather be doing anything else allowed to enter. Inside the store, we don't see any security cameras, despite this being common practice by this time period. Maybe they're all off-screen. Still, even without the cameras, given how well the Barbies are partying with loud music, the employees must have some awareness of toy sentience. When we see Al's office itself, there's a bunch of notes and calendars that probably have significance, but my screenshots are too blurry to show anything other than Al's full name, Al McWiggin. You see Al fax photographs of the merchandise to Mr. Kanishi on the phone with him. During this call, he demonstrates his knowledge of the Japanese language and his incredible business stats, with him able to multiply the price of the toy set by a factor of 10. Part 1.6, all the stuff after that. Al remains ignorant of Slinky's attempt to free Woody, or the incredibly loud epic battle between the other Buzz and Zurg on top of the elevator. When Al gets to the airport to fly to Japan, he complains to the airport employees, citing prior injustices against him to justify his Karen behavior. After that, we see him in another commercial where he is visibly depressed due to his failed business deal caused by airline failures. The fact that this was the only take they used for the commercial implies that they only used one take live, so all the props may not be props at all. Part 1.7, also Al's Toy Barn was mentioned in Toy Story 1. In the Buzz Lightyear commercial in Toy Story, we see Al's Toy Barn mentioned. This is in an area at least one state away from where Toy Story 2 takes place, since I doubt Andy's mom would choose to go through the trouble of moving just to another house in the county. This implies Al's Toy Barn is a multi-location store across the general tri-state area, at minimum, maybe country scale. But why does Al have to live so close to that one Al's Toy Barn if he owns the business? Or does he, in fact, own that business? Part 2. Is it really Al's Toy Barn? The fact that Al has no control over his schedule, has to live in a one-room apartment, and seems tied to just the one Al's Toy Barn makes me believe that Al McSquiggins is, in fact, not the owner of the Al's Toy Barn Corporation. He is simply a mascot. The true role Al serves for the store chain must be deduced, therefore, via psychoanalysis. Part 3. Who is Al Squid Millet? Al Schmidt Loggensworth displays traits of greed, laziness, uncleanliness, materialism, procrastination, and disrespect for the struggles of airline workers, the most oppressed minority in America. He expresses skills in lockpicking, distracting, and a vague degree in business sense, though only enough to barely pass the business school, and he'd probably copy someone else's test answers anyway. Additionally, he's able and willing to explicitly break the law when the dubiously legal methods fail to work. Part 4. Al's criminal record. Al Schmebulok has some sort of criminal record, likely petty theft, driving regulation violation, and I don't know, plagiarism. But his criminal past is indeterminable and has no need to be further elaborated on. What is important was that he was some sort of complete loser before becoming the Chicken Man we know, and that's where Al's Toy Barn comes in. Or just the Toy Barn, because it is not Al's Toy Barn. Part 5. Al's role in the founding of Al's Toy Barn. There are two possibilities. 1. Al was picked up to be the face of a shell corporation. 2. Al was brought in after a corporate rebrand. I'm leaning towards the latter, so the section title is a lie. Ignore the first possibility. It never mattered in the first place. The guys at corporate stuffed some random man inside the chicken suit, made him the face of it all, so he could take the fall for all the low points of the company, like the vandalism. The company is clearly going to go under at some point if it continues with its cheap prices, especially once hyperinflation becomes a thing. Once the company goes down, the guys at corporate will get away with all the profits, while Al burns with his barn. He can't quit because he tasted the high life of the 23rd floor and cannot go back to petty theft. But even if he was willing to do that, he can't simply leave because Part 6, the chicken costume, is eating him. Al's costume seems to use actual chicken feathers. He acts like a chicken even in private, and is capable of laying eggs. And he only does this stuff when wearing the chicken costume. In conclusion, Al is being possessed by the vengeful spirits of the chicken's pluck to make his costume. Al is merely food for the chicken spirits, and the company knows this. They would definitely know about toy sentience and the supernatural, and use whatever black magic to create a mascot who can never quit his job. Al doesn't simply want the money to be rich. He's trying to raise money to hire a professional exorcist to exorcise the chicken spirits from its mind. Already, in summary, I made an approximate timeline of events. A company that would become Al's Toy Barn is founded. The guys at corporate realize this is not a sustainable business model for the next millennium and are looking for a way out. The guys at corporate learn about toy sentience and begin looking into the supernatural. Al's Toy Barn hires Al, who leaves his life of crime behind, and stuffs him into the chicken suit. Al begins looking for a way out and starts collecting Woody's random merch in the hopes of selling it to a collector. Al gets in contact with the Kanishi Toy Museum. Al finds Woody, and the events of Toy Story 2 play out. His business deal fails absolutely, and he is forced to return to America empty-handed. Al continues to be devoured by the chicken suit until Al's Toy Barn collapses and is used as a tax write-off. While Al's ultimate fate, it remains unclear. And yeah, that's the Al's Toy Barn conspiracy. Comment your thoughts on this theory below. Thank you all for coming to my TED Talk. Subscribe, and I won't procrastinate again for the next one.